This is Mr. Clifford with ACDC Econ. Today we're going to be learning about interest rates. Now the real interest rate is defined as the rate of interest that the lender gets paid back accounting for inflation. The equation to find that out is the nominal interest rate minus the expected inflation. I don't know what that is. Nominal interest rates are the percentage the borrower has to pay back accounting for inflation. So the equation you use to find out the nominal interest rate is the real interest rate plus the expected inflation. Alright, let's do some practice problems. So, if the inflation is 10% and the nominal rate of interest is 8%, what's the real interest rate? Well, real interest rate is equal to the nominal rate minus the expected inflation. So,
just copying off the video.
That'd be...
Eric, you can't do that.
You can't.
And then we'll come back and just have it filled out and you'll know it.
So you want me to say that again and then say, pause the video and try out the problems on your own?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, let's try out some practice problems. Look at these problems, pause the video, we'll go over it.
No!
What do you want me to say?
Wait, hang on, stop. Hold up.
8 minus 10.
All of this. All of this right here for 10 minus 8.
Yeah, it's the opposite. It's 8 minus 10.
You see, that's why we need all that.
Oh my. Alright, take 3. Action.
Alright, let's look at some practice problems. So if the inflation is 10% and the nominal rate is 8%, what's the real interest rate? Well, if you look at the equation, it's the nominal rate of interest. That's great. 8% minus 10%. Which is equal to negative 2%. So the real rate of interest would be negative 2%. So pause the video, look at the other problems, we'll come back.
So right, 12% minus 6%.
Wow, it kind of looks like Rob's doing everything here. Do you have any comments on that?
And then what's this one?
I don't know. Okay guys, so looking at this problem, we know the real rate of interest and the nominal rate, so we're looking for inflation. So you can think to yourself, to find it, what's 12 minus 6? That'd just be 6%. For the next one, they're asking for the nominal rate of interest. So to look at that, you already know the real rate of interest is 20%. So you say what minus 5% is equal to 20? 25%. And there you have it. Interest rates.
You need to explain that in the video. You're saying inflation, but you never explain what inflation is.
You really want me to explain inflation? Inflation is the general rise in prices of goods and services in the economy. So $1 in 5 years is probably only going to be worth 90 cents in 5 years because everything increases in prices. So the nominal rate of interest is what the lender gets paid without inflation. Bada bing, bada boom.
Sorry, what was that?
I said bada bing, bada boom. We're gonna have the tornado attack him.
So you want a CGI, you want a little green screen tornado to come in through here?
Yeah, and take him out, and then it's gonna put me in.
Dude, you have no idea how amazing I am with special effects. It's gonna look so good.
Yo, that tornado!
Hey Rob, are you gonna pay me now or when we're done?
Never. Hi guys, welcome back. This is Mr. Clifford here with ACDC Economics, and today we're going to be talking about positive and negative externalities.
There's nothing on the board. Where are the positive and negative externalities?
They're coming.
Then draw them, son. Let's go.
Hold on, I gotta memorize the script.
Hey, what script? You're just copying from the video.
No shy, yo, look, we made our own script.
Made your own script?
Part of the grade.
Look at that.
Okay. That's right, so let's take smoking for example. Smoking would be a negative externality because when another person smokes, someone else is inhaling that smoke, and that's secondhand smoke. So that's an extra cost that that person who's not originally involved in
Hey, can you like stay in front of the board?
who's not originally involved in the equation is being taxed with. So for spillover cost, that's something we also talk about when we're talking about negative externalities. So here, like a spillover cost is when a cost spills over to someone other than the original producer or consumer. So when we're talking about that same example with the secondhand smoke, the spillover cost would be that secondhand smoke that the person's inhaling because it is something that is not originally intended and it's not originally the producer or consumer being affected. So that's the negative externality there. Okay.
You know what's funny to me, guys?
What?
You were like telling Eric how to do his, and Eric's telling you to do it. You guys should have just switched.
So we have certain lines in our negative externality graph. Start, we draw our marginal private cost line. Then we draw our marginal social cost for the negative externality. So then after that, we have our line that comes up, which is our marginal private benefit. Now we have our points here where they intersect, and we connect them over. So we label our graph here with P2 down here being from this one, or P1 down here and P2 up here. Down here we put our Q values, so we have Q2 here and Q1 there. Now to simulate the social loss here and our deadweight loss little area, we draw this line up and we put our new point here. This shaded area here, this shaded area there represents the social welfare and the loss of it. So that represents our negative externality right here where we're losing social welfare.
Good job, Rob.
You gotta say
oh my
more times.
God,
That was-
Rob,
that was
did
it.
one take, man.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about positive externalities. The positive externality is when the free market fails to provide the right quantity at an allocatively efficient amount. This could be also known as a spillover benefit, as we talked about spillovers in the earlier half of this video. This type of spillover is when additional benefits come to society, not additional taxes. So an example of a positive externality would be when someone decides to get vaccinated, or a kid, for this case, in their school decides to get vaccinated. Not only are they protecting themselves from the disease, but they're also protecting their classmates. At you, anti-vaxxers.
Careful not to rip that shirt, Rob. He's gonna do it.
Wear this?
Yeah, I wear it.
How? It's so tight.
You're just big, Rob.
You're a big boy.
You're big.
Hey, that's where it's at.
Guys, draw the graph. It's 4 o'clock. I want to go home.
Guys, so now we're going to do our positive externality graph. So we're going to draw our first line here. And we're going to label this marginal
Marginal what?
marginal what? Private cost.
Boss. There you go.
Good job. All right, now we're going to draw our other line here. And we're going to label this MSC, our marginal social cost. Now let's manipulate our graph. We're going to label this line MPB, or marginal private benefit. Okay, so now we're going to put our points on here. We put one where the marginal private costs intersect and the MPB intersect, and then we're going to put one where the MSC and the MPB intersect. Connect that to the axes. So then we got Q and Q1. So now to manipulate this up, we're going to draw this line up from the intersection point and connect it here and shade in this area. So this shaded triangle here is gonna simulate welfare loss from either underproduction or something along that lines. Now, a way to fix this would be for the government to introduce subsidies into the market, and that would make people produce more, further lessening this and shifting our graph. So that's our positive and negative externalities. Tune back next week, and we should have a bonus round on deadweight loss. See ya.
A perfectly competitive market with demand and supply looks like this. Supply right here, and demand right here. And get an equilibrium in price and quantity. Now up here is what you consider consumer surplus. Now consumer surplus is the price someone is willing to pay for a certain item. Now down here is producer surplus. This is what we would consider an efficient market, and the producer surplus is how much the producer is willing to sell an item for. Now this is an efficient market because the consumers are willing to pay anywhere above here can buy the item, and any of the producers who are willing to sell down here can sell the item. Now this is why it would be considered an efficient market. This is what deadweight loss is. Now instead of producing at quantity equilibrium, we produce here at quantity 1. What people are willing to pay is up here, and what producers are willing to produce is down here. And this is what we would consider deadweight loss. Now, why does this happen? Because of what we would call a monopoly. Marginal revenue comes all the way down here, and it intersects with marginal cost, which is equal to supply. Now, so since producers are willing to produce down here, and consumers are willing to consume up here, price 1 goes here. Now, this is where we would have producer surplus, which is now up here, because of the deadweight loss, and now consumer surplus is all right here, which equals an inefficient market and deadweight loss.